Thank you for joining Wars of the Rosies as we continue with part 16, lesson 15 of the Illuminated Faith, Mystical Interpretation of the Gospel of St. John by R. Swinburne Clymer. Lesson 15. According to our works, so shall be the wages that we will receive. St. John, chapter 4, verses 25 through 36. 25. The woman that saith unto him, I know that the Messiah cometh, which is called Christ. When he is come, he will tell us all things. The Messiah, the Christ, can be found only within the temple of the living God. He and the Father are one. The Messiah comes to all those who first believe in the divine law and then obey the divine law. Through their faith and consequent works do they purify the temple. They cast out the money changers and the sellers of merchandise. They free the temple from the taint of evil thoughts and evil desires. According as they do this, does the Christ come and tell them all things. For the voice of the Christ is the voice of conscience, and the voice of the purified conscience speaks truth. 26. And Jesus saith unto her, I that speak unto thee am he. The woman of Samaria had awakened to the truth. She had found the Christ. She had heard the voice of the Christ speak to her and tell her all things. The history of the woman of Samaria is the history of a soul, as Oriental symbolism teaches it. It is the soul which, in the past, has been living according to the desires of the flesh. The soul which, at one time, knew no other desire than to gratify the senses. But the mind awakens. She goes to the well to draw the waters. She listens to the awakened mind and believes that which the awakened mind or her own enlightened self instructs her. Through obedience, she frees herself from the desires of the carnal self. She transmutes or changes these desires into a longing for truth and the higher worship. Through this change, this higher alchemy, this transmutation, this building, she finds the Christ and knows the voice that speaks to her. 27. And upon this came his disciples and marveled that he talked with the woman. Yet no man said, What seekest thou? Or, Why talkest thou with her? Even those who would follow the Christ feared to be seen talking with those of ill repute. They fail to consider one's obligation to help those who have fallen by the wayside. They forget that it is the duty of the Son of Man to help all those less fortunate than himself, and that the shepherd is not satisfied until every sheep is within the fold. Though 99 are safe within the fold, and only one is lost in the hills, yet the true shepherd will lead them all, and go to seek that which is lost. And the 99 cannot be perfectly happy with the shepherd until the last one is also with them. It is the same with humanity under the divine law. So long as there is one soul that dwells in darkness, that long is it impossible for others to dwell in perfect peace. For the duty and the mission of the soul that has become illuminated is to be of service to those not so fortunate. Service is the keystone of the most glorious temple that can be dedicated to the living God. It is the keystone that holds together the arch. 28. The woman then left her water pot and went her way into the city, and saith to the men. 29. Come, see a man which told me all things that ever I did. Is not this the Christ? When the soul has become awakened, it is like a man that remembers all things he has ever done. It is the book of records. Upon it is written every deed, every thought, and every desire of his life. The awakened soul is the Christ. The voice of the Christ is the awakened and purified conscience. It holds before us everything of the past in order that we may free ourselves from the past through service to the children of men. 30. Then they went out of the city and came unto him. 31. In the meanwhile his disciples prayed him, saying, Master, eat. 32. But he said unto them, I have meat to eat that ye know not of. 33. Therefore said the disciples one to another, Hath any man brought him aught to eat? 34. Jesus saith unto them, My meat is to do the will of him that sent me, and to finish his work. To do the work of the Father is food to the soul, just as material fruits are meat to the body. To work in the vineyard of the Father gives strength and nourishment to the soul. The greater the work that we do, the greater will be the benefits to the soul. There is material food and there is spiritual food. We must give to the body that which belongs to the body, and to the soul that which belongs to the soul. The food of the soul is found in service and in obedience to the will of the Father. For only through sowing shall there be reaping. 35. Say not ye, There are yet 4 months, and then cometh harvest. Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes and look on the fields, for they are white already to harvest. There is no special time of sowing. There is no special time of reaping. Every day, every hour, every minute is time for sowing. Every minute in the day we hold a thought that shall bring good to someone. Every second can we hold the desire for some good. And at all times can we try to help those less fortunate than ourselves. This is the sowing. The reaping, the time of harvest, is also now. Through our thoughts, our desires, and our acts, we plant the seeds that will harvest. And in that which comes to us, in the pains and miseries, in the sickness and the suffering, or in the joys and in the peace of mind and soul, is the reaping. Now is the time to sow, and now is the harvest. And the harvest continues as long as the soul lasts. 36. And he that reapeth receiveth wages, and gathereth fruit unto life eternal, that both he that soweth and he that reapeth may rejoice together. According to the work that we do, so will be the wages or the rewards that we shall receive. If our work is good, then will the wages be good. And not only will these wages be good for us, but the sowing will be good to those whom we have helped. If our sowing was of poor seeds, then do we reap death instead of life? And those whom our sowing affected will also suffer for the time being, but they will be freed from their suffering, for it was not of their own sowing. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and comment. And if you can, please consider donating towards the Rosies. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. Thank you so very much.